Dealing with death is one of the hardest things that human beings have to cope up with. Now imagine addressing your personal demons when you do not know who to blame or who to demand justice from. To add to this, if you are hounded by the media coverage and speculation, life would truly become hellish. These are the 10 murders that shook the nation as a whole, and to date, their perpetrators have not been caught. Delhi Scandal. The Delhi Scandal was a major scandal which took place in the city of Madras in 1919. It resulted in the murder of Delhi, the principal of Newington House, a college in Madras, on the night of 15th October 1919, and a highly sensationalized trial known as the Delhi murder case or Madras murder case took place. No one was implicated and the case remains unsolved to this day. Amar Singh Chamkila was a popular Punjabi singer, songwriter, musician and composer. Chamkila and his wife and singing partner Amar Jodh were killed along with 2 members of their band on 8th March 1988, allegedly by Khalistani militants. Having arrived to perform in Mehsampur, Punjab, both Chamkila and Amar Jodh were gunned down as they exited their vehicle on 8th March 1988 at approximately 2 o'clock. A gang of motorcyclists fired several rounds, fatally wounding the couple and other members of the entourage. However, no arrests were ever made with connection to the shooting and the case was never solved. Rajiv Dikshit murder case. A mysterious death of a true patriot that was followed by no investigation or post-mortem report. Cardiac arrest or slow poisoning? The question remains. Rajiv Dikshit was a social activist and an Indian nationalist who passed away on 30th November 2010 at the age of 43. He spoke on matters such as the evils of globalization, liberalization, and privatization and equated them to modern day colonialism. He was a leader of the Swadeshi movement and Azadi Bacha Andolan and advocated decentralization of taxes because, according to him, 80% of taxes were being used to feed the politicians and bureaucrats and just 20% for development purposes for the people. He died on 30th November 2010 due to apparent cardiac arrest while in Bhilai, Chhattisgarh, on the way to deliver a lecture as a part of his Bharat Swabhiman Yatra. However, no post-mortem was done after his death. His body was blue-black in color when he had died, indicative of poisoning. Even the entire media was silent on his death and none reported it. Lal Bahadur Shastri murder case. A man revered for his humility and remembered for an untimely, suspicious death in a foreign land at a time of war. As was the case with Rajiv Dikshit, Mr. Shastri also died under suspicious circumstances of apparent cardiac arrest. It was 2 p.m. in Tashkent, Russia, and his death occurred the day after signing the Tashkent Declaration. He was the first Prime Minister of India to die overseas, and thus a number of people had suspected foul play. To add to this, even in case of Lal Bahadur Shastri, no post-mortem report was made, and thus theories emerged of him being murdered by poisoning. Chandrasekhar Prasad murder case. Shot dead on March 31, 1997 by sharpshooters allegedly in the employ of former Rashtriya Janata Dal parliamentarian Mohammad Shahabuddin. Born in Sivan, Bihar, into a poor household, following his initial education in Sivan, he studied at the Sainik School in Jhumri, Tilaiya, after which he joined the Indian National Defence Academy, but soon left it because he wanted to be a political activist. He joined Patna University before joining Jawaharlal Nehru University. Once he joined JNU, he was instrumental in setting up of AISA, the newly formed student organization of the CPI-ML liberation. He was elected to the JNU Students' Union election 3 times in a row as president for 2 successive terms. He was killed on 31st March 1997 in Sivan, Bihar, while addressing a gathering. The reason behind his brutal murder was accounted to his immense popularity as a leader amongst people. His death generated nationwide outrage and protest led by students. There were convictions, but the police are yet to find who was behind the conspiracy to assassinate this future leader of India. Sunanda Pushkar murder case. The mysterious demise of a disturbed socialite who found herself caught up in the web of high-profile scams and clearly knew something we did not. Sunanda Pushkar was a business person and wife of Indian diplomat and politician Shashi Tharoor. One day, after a controversial Twitter incident involving Meher Tarar, a Pakistani journalist who allegedly was having an affair with her husband, took place, Sunanda Pushkar, wife of Shashi Tharoor, was found dead in room number 345 of the Leela Palace Hotel in Chanakyapuri, New Delhi. Shashi Tharoor discovered her body on 17 January 2014. Sunanda was suspected to have committed suicide. Later reports stated that the cause of death was unnatural. The doctors at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences gave a preliminary autopsy report that revealed injury marks on her body. They said that these injuries may or may not be the cause of death. On 1st July 2014, the case took another turn when AIIMS Dr. Sudhir Gupta revealed that he was pressured into giving a false report. On October 10, 2014, the medical team probing her death concluded that she died of poisoning. On 6 January 2015, Delhi police repeated that Sunanda was murdered and filed an FIR in the regard. The possible conclusions one can arrive at are innumerable. However, currently, the case remains sub judice. Arushi Talwar Hemraj double murder case. A shocking double murder in Noida that remains a mystery because of shoddy investigations and misinformation surrounding it. When the 14-year-old's body was discovered by her parents on 16th May 2008, the missing servant Hemraj was considered as the main suspect. However, the next day, his decomposed body was discovered on the terrace. The blame then shifted to them. The UP police botched up the initial investigation. They made extremely insensitive and reprehensible remarks about Arushi and her parents' character following the incident and tailored a narrative which was full of holes. The issue with this case is that it was so hyped up by the media that actual facts were overlooked. It was a personal tragedy, yet it was sensationalized so much that one could hear people give their personal verdicts of the parents' guilt by simply breaking down their demeanor on television interviews. The first CBI team's conclusion painted a completely different picture than the one by the media. However, the evidence obtained via narco-analysis test is inadmissible in court and was therefore insufficient to convict anyone. The investigation was closed without conviction. The parents then filed a petition to reopen the matter. Rajesh and Nupur Talwar were eventually convicted. Lalit Narayan Mishra murder case. Lalit Narayan Mishra was Minister of Railways in the Government of India from 1973 to 75. He was brought into politics by the first Chief Minister of Bihar, Krishna Sinha, when he was made Parliamentary Secretary at his insistence to the first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru. In 1975, he died in a bomb blast at Samastipur railway station. The court case was delayed for years and was finally completed in December 2014. As a Minister of Railways, he visited Samastipur on 2nd January 1975 to declare open Samastipur-Muzaffarpur broad gauge railway line. A bomb explosion on the dais seriously injured him. He was rushed to the railway hospital at Danapur, where he died next day. In the recent trial, the High Court quashed the verdict of the lower trial court, and all the 4 accused have been acquitted, as the evidence provided by CBI could not convince the High Court bench. Lakshmi Kanthan murder case. The Lakshmi Kanthan murder case was a high-profile criminal trial that was conducted in the then Madras Presidency between November 1944 and April 1947. The cause of the trial was the murder of C.N. Lakshmi Kanthan, a Tamil film journalist. Lakshmi Kanthan was stabbed in Vapuri, Madras on November 7, 1944. He died the next morning in General Hospital, Madras. A criminal case was filed and a series of suspects were arrested. The suspects included Tamil film actors M.K. Thyagaraja Bhagavathar and N.S. Krishnan and director S.M. Sri Ramamulu Naidu. While Sri Ramamulu Naidu was acquitted, Thyagaraja Bhagavathar and Krishnan were found guilty and convicted. Bhagavathar and Krishnan appealed to the Madras High Court, but their appeals were turned down. The duo remained in jail until 1947, when an appeal to the Privy Council was successful and the council directed the Sessions Court to make a fresh retrial. Bhagavathar and Krishnan were found to be innocent and acquitted. Rizwanur Rahman murder case. An incident initially brushed aside as a case of suicide, but due to allegations of high-level cover-up and public outrage, a conspiracy emerged. Rizwanur Rahman was a middle-class computer graphic trainer who fell in love with Priyanka Todi, daughter of the noted industrialist Ashok Todi, head of Lux Hosiery Group, and later married her. Ashok Todi was extremely disappointed by his daughter's decision to marry Rizwanur. Thus, Rizwanur was compelled to send Priyanka to her father's home and wasn't allowed to speak to her. On 21st September 2007, his body was recovered from a railway track in Kolkata. The incident was brushed aside as a case of suicide, but evidence of police intimidation led to a media furor, alleging that the authorities were covering up the incident under pressure from Todi. In May 2010, the Kolkata High Court declared the case as that of murder and the investigation reopened. The Apex Court rejected the order for registration of a murder case but upheld order for a probe by CBI for a case of abetment of suicide. Priyanka was last seen attending an award show in 2013. The matter is still under investigation.